Hi guys, and welcome to a new video on Sonal's life. Now, I'm slightly tired, but it's fine because we are here for the New Japan Strong Style Evolved. This is where I get the name completely wrong. Strong Style Evolved show, and basically it is the final New Japan Strong show of the year. And it was a very strong card. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I watched like 60% of it last night, and then I watched the rest of it this morning because it started at 1 o'clock in the morning in the UK and I was very tired. But we are going to go because there are some implications going forward for Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty, so it's all very exciting. So let's get going. So we started the show, it was similar to a New Japan show, so we had a member of the New Japan Academy. So that was Johnny Robbie facing the Stardom wrestler, and she's also currently the Rev Pro Women's Champion, Mina Shirakawa, who is a very nice person. And if you watch my Royal Quest vlog, you'll hear all about it because I actually met her. This was just standard match. Johnny was really showcasing what she has learned over the years and what she's been learning in the New Japan Academy, which is a really exciting prospect because whereas you have the LA dojo, which I don't think there's a thing anymore, but also the Noge dojo, they are obviously just for men. But this New Japan Academy has allowed women as well to train under the tutelage of some of the best New Japan has to offer. So this was great. It was obviously very similar to, like I said, in New Japan where Mina Shirakawa got the win. But it was nice to have her on the card and nice to have her with some young talent, because that is the unique thing about Strong, is that it's not just New Japan, it's other companies. It's more open weight and there's also women. So I like that they're embracing this. We then went on to the second match, which was for the Strong titles. Now obviously at the last New Japan Strong show, the Grizzled Young Veterans beat TMDK. And so this time they were facing West Coast Wrecking Crew. Now can I just say, I'm just happy that West Coast Wrecking Crew were not facing Dirty Work again, Fred Rosser and Tom Lawler, because I've seen them face each other. Probably, I think I was doing a thing with SP3 and J News on True Heel Heat, who you should follow and subscribe to. And we were saying that like it's been months since they've had a match not against Dirty Work. So this was that. Going into it, I didn't know what to expect. Grizzled Young Veterans are always such a proficient team. Similar with West Coast Wrecking Crew, they've been together a long time. And the match itself was very good. It wasn't too long, it was about 10 minutes, I think, which showcases its place on the card. It was quite surprising, actually, that it was so low, considering it was a title match. But it was actually a huge shock, because in the end, it was West Coast Wrecking Crew who got the win. Now, this is odd to me, because not just because Grizzled Young Veterans are such a huge team, but also this was like one of their first defenses. So, I don't know. I really think, I've said this about tag team belts for like a very long time, that they need to focus on some consistency. You can't keep hot potatoing a belt because it loses the importance of it. And I especially think that they have had some really good champions for this, so I don't want to see that again. If you're going to keep it on West Coast Wrecking Crew, keep it. Because, I'm saying this because the next challenger, so after they won the belts, who should come out? But it was Rocky Romero, and he basically said for the show in January, I think it's the 11th, that him and Yo, aka Roppongi Revice, will be challenging for the belts. Now, as much as I would love to see Roppongi Revice win, are you going to have them lose the belt on the first time? I really hope not. But yeah, this was a good match. Again, I'm still confused why it was so low on the card, but you know what? It's a very good card from start to finish, so yeah. We then had a match which is very exciting for me because it's Wrestle Kingdom implications. Because if you didn't know through like every single video that I've made, I'm going to be at Wrestle Kingdom next year live in person. So this was a warm-up match for the IWGP Junior Tag Championship match. So we saw Clark Connors, who is obviously going to be teaming with Dan Maloney, Kushida, who's IWGP Champion with Kevin Knight, TJP, who's with Akira, and obviously TMDK's Fujita, who's with Robbie Eagle. This might have been one of my favourite matches of the card, just because I am in love with the junior division anyway. These four guys deserve the match so much. And it was so chaotic. There was no tagging in. There was no, you had to have one man in the centre at one time. Everything was going up. It was going to the outside. It was in the inside. People were flying. There was lariats. Because within these four wrestlers, you have so much variety. You have Fujita, who is obviously the fast young one. He's called the Young Buck for a good reason. Clark Connors is the strength and the muscle of the junior division. Like, again, it's like similarly to people like even Dan Maloney, Alex Zane, Shingo Takagi. Because someone checked that this man belongs in the junior division. Between Kushida and TJP, they are the veterans. They were in the LA dojo together, I believe. But they are very proficient submission wrestlers and technically proficient in so many ways. So this was a really nice blend together. And what I liked about this match is it gave you the perfect sneak peek. Because you know there's 4 other men that are going to be in this match. But this gives you a taste of what you will see on January the 4th. The interaction between the wrestlers. The young, the old, the new, the old, the fresh, the traditional, if that makes sense. And the ending bits was very interesting because we saw a submission being put on. But in the end, and this showcases the excitement of such a interesting stipulation of having 4 teams, is that TJP actually had so while a submission was on, TJP pinned the other person to get the win. Now this is massive momentum for the Empire because we all know that the Empire they're not struggling, but they've had a string of bad luck. They've lost a lot of members. In World Tag League, Callum Newman and Hanare got injured in the case that Hanare had to relinquish the heavyweight tag belts with Great O'Khan. So I really hope that this is some momentum going forward because I love the Empire. But anyway, that will come with my predictions for Wrestle Kingdom, but this was a very good match. We then followed with a special singles match, which was again phenomenal. We had Lio Rush, and I like how they introduced him as Chaos's Lio Rush, facing CMLL's Hechicero. If you have never seen Hechicero before, what have you been doing? He has had, over the last year, some underrated bangers, including one against IWGP Heavyweight Champion Zack Sabre Jr. Now this match, there was obviously a big size difference. Leo is very much a junior, Hechicero is quite big. However, this was perfect because Hechicero, while being, and we know he's a proficient technical wrestler submission guy, is also very fast and athletic. He's a luchador at the end of the day. And this meant that he was trying to match Lio Rush. Now what's quite interesting is Lio is meant to be a babyface. But I say this time and time again, it is your ability to adapt to an audience that makes you a good wrestler. As soon as Lio came out and Hechicero came out and he heard the Hechicero chants, he knew that he is going to be putting on the heel persona. He is the one that everyone is rooting against. Even though in America he is a veteran, he has been there for years. So he played up that, whether it was his attitude in the ring, whether it was his style. And actually, this was an amazing match. It didn't go too long, it didn't go too short. With the balance here, I think they knew that it's going to have people wanting more. Because in the end, we saw Hechicero get the win. Now, obviously, it's interesting because Lio Rush has been on a roll of lately. Beat Mustafa Ali, he's been doing well in AEW. So, will we get round 2? I really hope so because I'd love seeing Lio Rush in a New Japan ring. And Hechicero, honestly, I can be honest, like before I think this year, I didn't really know about him at all. But honestly, he's so charismatic, he is so fun in the ring. Give me more Hechicero. We then had a match which had to be changed somewhat. So it was Los Ingobernables de Japon's Titan and Hiromu facing the Empire's Jacob Austin Young. I don't know why I had to read this, it's quite a thing. And Templario. Now, initially this was meant to be a match between LIJ and the Empire with Hanare. And obviously seeing that Naito and Hiromu won World Tag League and was meant to challenge for the belts against them, it made sense. However, last minute, obviously Hanare had to pull out and TJP announced Templario as the newest member of the Empire. Empire is really growing, becoming a really solidified faction with juniors, heavyweights, luchadors, Japanese, Gaikokujins. It's phenomenal. So this match was very unexpected. But coming in, if you didn't know of Templario, he really showcased who he is. He is, I guess, more of a rudo. I think he's a rudo. Let me know. I obviously don't watch him in CMLL, but his attitude, his demeanour seemed quite rudo. But what is good about having the Empire and LIJ facing each other is these guys are tweeners, both these factions. In the sense that they can be baby faces, but they're not afraid to cheat or to be a bit vicious. Now this match was great. It was basically an all junior match. And I loved it. You know I love the juniors, as mentioned earlier. We had some really nice interactions between Jacob and Hiromu. Obviously, with the CMLL pass, seeing Titan and Templario in the ring. And I keep emphasizing this because I want people to know that the reason that I love the junior division of New Japan so much is the diversity. Because similarly in this, you have so many branches of the junior style. So Jacob is very fast and athletic. He reminds me of like Callum Newman and the speed and things. Hiromu is much bigger, but he is also very unpredictable. Like in the press conference before the World Tag League final, Naito was like, you don't have to be worried about the fucking Madman Gabe Kid. It's Hiromu, because you don't know what he's going to do. Titan is, I can never say enough praise. He's like the Matrix. His body can do ungodly things, but he's also not afraid to be dangerous. And Templario seems slightly on the larger side, so he is very athletic, but uses that strength to have an advantage over his smaller opponents. And it worked really well. Like, Templario and Jacob had actually some very good chemistry. And surprisingly, in the end, it was actually Templario who got the win over Titan. And this is going to be interesting to see because a new junior, we've got Best of Super Junior Tag League, the Junior Tag Championships. I like that they're bringing in all this diversity to make and add more depth to the junior division, which has already, in my opinion, flourished. Speaking of that fucking madman, he was in the next match. He was defending his New Japan Strong Openweight title against TMDK's Oiwa, or Roy the Mullet. Obviously, if anyone watched the last New Japan show, he faced Fujita. And then after Fujita lost, Oiwa came out. Then in World Tag League, when Gabe Kidd and Sonata faced Zack and Oiwa actually pinned Gabe. So everything was really building up to this. It's quite funny. Gabe was doing all sorts. He was doing promos on like news channels. He basically called out New Japan like, I should be in the main event, not Mercedes Moné. It's very funny. But this match gave me so much confidence in the future of New Japan. The guys are similar age, so I think Gabe is a 97 liner and Oiwa is 98 liner. So they're very much similar in age. However, the experience is so different because for anyone who doesn't know Gabe, he has been wrestling for like a decade or probably more than that. I've been watching him for years and I've only liked wrestling since 2016. And I swear he's been doing it since then, even before. And again, this is a clash of styles, a clash of personalities. And this was a very interesting storytelling because there was nobody who actually had an upper edge for most of it. Oiwa was using his heart. Oiwa is very big built. Similar to Gabe, they're very strong men who can use their speed and athleticism. So they were really going at it. And I think going into it, almost Gabe Kidd thought, oh, a cocky, like this is going to be easy. I'm the veteran. I remember you as a young boy, blah, blah, blah. Similar to Fujita because obviously they were the same class. And this sort of went to the detriment of Gabe because at one point, Fujita really hit a massive move. Not Fujita, sorry. I'm getting confused. Like, Oiwa hit a huge move on Gabe and Gabe almost seemed out. And when it looked like the ref was going to get a 3 count, Clark Connors came out and pulled the ref out. And then he came in with a chair. Now, I'm not going to complain here because compared to House of Torture, there is very little interference like this that we see. However, this reflects that Gabe Kidd, when he gets too excited and almost too cocky, that's where the weaknesses happen. And this is a constant storytelling that has been told from New Japan and from Gabe since he joined Bullet Club. Yes, he's an amazing wrestler. However, it is his personality, his unhingedness that is his detriment. And so obviously Clark Connors came in, he had the chair, he was hitting Oiwa, and then came Fujita. See, we see a really nice connection between all these matches. Clark came to help Gabe, because obviously for War Dogs. Fujita came to help Oiwa, TMDK. However, Clark and Fujita have got their feud going on. So everything works perfectly. So after that, it was both on an equal level. Fujita took Clark out of the ring, out of the building, well, like out of the section, and they carried on another amazing match. Obviously, Gabe got the win. He then grabbed the mic and started calling out everyone. Like, obviously, he's got the match with Kenny Omega, but he said that the next challenger he wants for the belt is the man who I think epitomizes strong open weight better than anyone. It is Tomohiro Ishii. So that was very exciting for me. We then had 2 tag matches, which sort of implications were Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty. So we started with Shota Umino teaming with Team Dirty Work, so Fred Rosser and Tom Lawler, facing TMDK's Zack Sabre Jr., Shane Hayes, and Bad Dude Tito. Obviously, this is all leading up, guys, to the big main event on January 4th. Similarly, in the next match, we had, I'm going to tie them both together, we had Los Ingobernables de Japón, Tsuji and Shingo, facing AEW's Takeshita and Jack Perry, which obviously links to January the 4th, Takeshita versus Shingo, and then January the 5th, Tsuji versus Jack Perry. These matches are very good. I think the match with TMDK and Hontai, it was a great match, but I think the storytelling, we've sort of seen it before. It's very much what we've been seeing in like the tag matches and previews, and we'll see it again, I assume, in the Road to. We saw Bad Dude Tito pin Tom Lawler, so that works. None of the champions were put at a disadvantage. Zack's kind of got into Shota's face. It was a really nice send-off. But it was the match between LIJ and the AEW guys that was funny. So you have LIJ teaming together, phenomenal. But then you have Takeshita teaming with Jack Perry. They do not like each other. Yes, they're both heels, but they're very different. One's the Don Callis family, then Jack Perry's with whatever, I think it's the Elite, I don't know, it's whoever's the Bucks and Okada. That's what happens, isn't it? And what was interesting was the lack of cohesion between Takeshita and Jack Perry. While they were on the same team, they were not on the same page at all. And you could almost see like LIJ getting quite excited about this. They were like, well, this is great. They're basically internally fighting. Because we saw in Tag League, we've seen since Tsuji joined LIJ, these two are an amazing powerhouse. And what was nice is we didn't just see Shingo in the ring with Takeshita, we saw Tsuji in the ring with Takeshita, we saw Jack Perry in the ring with Shingo. It was a really nice blend of everything that we wanted. And again, like I said, there was a storyline there because we had so much going on. But there was moments where Takeshita didn't want to tag in Jack Perry, and I think one of the members of LIJ pushed Takeshita, so Jack got the tag. And you could see the anger. They just weren't getting along. And I think this works perfectly because they're not even on the same faction, so they're not going to get on. It's sort of by necessity that they're teaming together. Now, this chaos, while it might have seemingly worked in LIJ's favour, it didn't. In the end, Jack Perry actually pinned Tsuji, and I was a bit surprised by this because I thought with such big stakes going on, it'd be better to have like a DQ or a time limit draw. However, SP3 on True Heel Heat said that with Perry being on like a losing streak at the moment and stuff with AEW, he needed this win just to make the match at Wrestle Dynasty not seem pointless. So that was very good. We then got to the main event. Thank you, New Japan, for giving us another women's match, as we saw Mercedes Moné, the New Japan Strong title holder, facing Hazuki, who obviously in the last show, she won the Fatal 4-Way to Challenge. I've seen Mercedes Moné as Sasha Banks. I've watched her stuff when she's done New Japan. This is probably her best New Japan match she's ever had. Hazuki, when I watched Hazuki in the Fatal 4-Way, I didn't really know about her, but she instantly caught my attention with her speed, her strength, her energy, just her presence in the ring. And this really worked with Moné. The crowds were really excited. It wasn't sold out by any means, and it was quite interesting that they had the lights on because you could see all the empty seats. But at points, and including during this match, they were really hot. These two women put on such a phenomenal show to end the New Japan Strong year. There was false finishes, kick-outs. Like, I didn't know who was going to win this. They were basically putting their bodies and hearts on the line because while it's just the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, they showed that this is the top prize that they won. They weren't seeing it as some lesser belt to like IWGP. They realised that this belt makes them the top female star in the division. And you could see that by the determination. This match actually went on like maybe 20 minutes. And again, I know that sometimes, and I know people are worried about this for the match on Wrestle Kingdom, that the women might not be given enough time or that they're given too little. But I think sometimes you've got to base it not on the quantity of the match, but the quality of this match. This was the perfect length, that it had people on their seats. You didn't have moments of boredom. The women could showcase how dynamic they were. And again, with wrestling, you've got to remember, it's not just about your skills in the ring, it's about how you present yourself. And they were giving so much to the crowd. They were making them take in every second. And this is the thing. Sometimes too many pinfalls can seem a bit boring. But in this match, it worked because you were like, oh my God, Mercedes going to win. No, Hazuki's going to win. And it wasn't even like near falls in terms of like just, oh, roll up, something like that. It was like proper power moves. And I was like, no, that's done. Commentary again. I always say this because I don't really follow the Strong brand as much and like as often as I want to. But with Vader and Walker Stewart, who are like the perfect duo, I always know what's going on, not just within New Japan, not just within New Japan Strong, but they will speak about AEW. They will speak about Stardom and the upcoming shows, which means that I know the storylines going forward. I know what Hazuki's been doing in Stardom, even though I don't watch it. I know what Monet's been doing in AEW, even though I don't watch it. So it was really good. And in the end, after an amazing match, probably, one of Monet's best matches, she got the win and she pinned Hazuki. And this is like nothing on Hazuki because this was a phenomenal bout from her. Showcased just how strong she was. But it was the perfect ending. And then, who should come out to challenge Mercedes Moné? Mina Shirakawa. And so we have another match set for Wrestle Dynasty. I told you, we're just going to get treat after treat. It was going to be title versus title. New Japan Strong for Rev Pro title on January the 5th. And I am so excited. So yeah, that was the final New Japan Strong show of the year. That was my review. I think, you know what? New Japan Strong's been up and down this year. There's been some really strong shows, some like decent shows. But actually, it's been a very good showing since they're now only doing it every few months. Come Wrestle Kingdom, come Wrestle Dynasty, like a week later, we have the New Japan, I can't remember the name, but the next New Japan Strong show, so it's going to be interesting to see. But it is good that they have taken this show and used it to build up for January the 4th and January the 5th. Because I know that there's been some grievances that AEW has not been doing their part. But you can never doubt New Japan. They will always get you hyped. So now I've told you about my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments on social media at wrestling_chat. What were your thoughts on the matches? What were your thoughts of the show? Let me know what your thoughts on the matches that we have seen or been built for January the 4th and 5th. Hit like, press share, and remember to subscribe. This is the last time I'm going to say this in this video. Yes, this video. I am going to be in Japan for January the 4th Wrestle Kingdom, January the 5th Wrestle Dynasty. I've also bought my tickets for the Wrestle Kingdom press conference. So make sure to hit subscribe to be the first people to see reviews, vlogs, and all of that. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you soon. Bye!